Hey, what's going on, man?
You ain't from the hood. Nah, you ain't get put on, you ain't from the hood. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. Niggas always claim to set blood, ain't from the hood. Hell nah. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. Oh, I live in the hood, ass nigga. Never got put on, always claiming the hood though. Oh, you fucking with the homegirl, but don't come to the hood with none of your damn homeboys. They don't get a pass. Had a little homies press they ass for your tattoos. Hey, your mama waking up to some bad news. The plug saying groove, I'm a dime. I was long in the race, skinny nigga with the braid. Took a 2-man fade. I'm really from the hood. I took a fucking break to get my money right. But I was begging on the plane in the meeting with Jermaine. They like, poet, oh, you bang? They forgot where I came from. I was gang banging when it wasn't fun. Homie doing life right now, cause we don't play the fun. You ain't from the hood. Nah, you ain't get put on, you ain't from the hood. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. Niggas always claim to set blood, ain't from the hood. Hell nah. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. And that goes for these hoes too. Start fucking on niggas and throwing these niggas hood up. Ha, little dot. Heard you gave a homie head in the trap spot. Gotta throw away in the stash spot. Boy, you not real, like a Sasquatch. Boy, I'm so high, I'm seeing astronauts. Boy, I ball hard, I need a mascot. Oh, in Swahili, I'm a Damu. My little cousin making paru. My nigga Uzi, he from Fire Deuce. Pad blows, I be hanging with some real whoops. Gang signs out the window when we drive coupes. Making money with some crips like it's 92. Banging on tracks. Back in my days, it was banging on. You ain't from the hood. Nah, you ain't get put on, you ain't from the hood. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. Niggas always claim to set blood, ain't from the hood. Hell nah. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood.
Fuck Chris Brown, nigga. Pull up in the hood right now, nigga. Catch your fade, nigga. Fuck, nigga. Frogs.
You ain't from the hood.
Holla some the blood starts swirling. Fuck you talking about, nigga. We out here, nigga, right now.
What's up with it, chat? How you doing in the building? Thank you for the donation. This is Samantha Roberts for the early donation up in here. Thank you for the donation. The donations is what keeps this channel going. You know, because of you, it'll be no me. And because of me, I do it for you. What's up with it, chat? Now, this is very interesting. Now, we got all the leaks and all that old stuff. You know what I'm saying? The paperwork. I wish I could have done the show live, but he done it late and the video messed up. I couldn't get it. So, but we figured, you know, I'm a comedian. So I'm not going to talk about the paperwork. I'm not going to, we all know what the paperwork say by now. If you go on Twitter, if you want to see it, you know, you can go over there. But we're going to talk about the funny shit. We're going to talk about how this information, right, and how they done turned this Twitter dump and this Russian information and all this other shit, right, into propaganda. Now, they was pushing, right? Fake news was pushing the Russian propaganda, right? All on the fake news every day. Russian propaganda. This is Russian collusion. Giuliani, Donald Trump. They lying. They this, right? Now, when the leaks come out, right, and saying that the laptop wasn't fake, right? All the information, what the Twitter was doing and interfering with stuff, right? All that shit was real, right? Now, the fake news ain't reporting on none of that. What fake news is reporting on is hate speech, right? There's been a variety of hate speech been on the internet since Elon Musk been the owner of Twitter, right? So they're not focusing on the leaks, and they're not focusing on how it affected with certain things and stuff like that. I don't want to say what it affected with because YouTube is listening, right? But we all know what it affected with, right? They don't want to talk about none of that. They want to talk about the hate speech that's now on social media. So let's get into it. Why they're not talking about this? when they were talking about that. And when I say this, I'm talking about the laptop. I'm talking about the verifications. I'm talking about everything that was verified. The Joe Biden said he didn't know, and they found out he didn't know. I'm talking about the Tony Bobolinsky. I'm talking about the FBI agents coming up talking about, hey, they was hiding information. I'm talking about Twitter. I'm talking about Facebook. I'm talking about everybody coming out saying they was hiding information, but fake news is not reporting it. They still trying to bring down Elon Musk. Let's get into this video.
Are you concerned, A, about the retaliation, and B, are you seeing evidence of it already?
Government is slow to act. I think there probably will be some actions, but they'll happen slowly. And it's only been a month so far. There's probably at least a few nefarious things that are in the works right now. But
right, Elon Musk know they finna come after him for free speech, right? He said they're not gonna do it automatically, right? They're gonna do it in increments. They're gonna sneak into it, right? All of a sudden they're gonna start hitting Elon Musk with all kind of shit. He knows it's coming. He's being prepared for it. Elon Musk is smart and he got money, right? He knows it's coming, right? Remember, he the nigga gonna put chips in people's heads, so he knows some type of futuristic shit.
it would be naive to assume that there are no nefarious things. We'll just expose them on Twitter and see what happens.
Do you believe the recent leak of material allegedly from Hunter's computer is part of a Russian disinformation campaign?
Giuliani was being fed disinformation from the Russians.
Right? From the Russians. But the laptop is from a computer shop. It's not from the Russians, right? Giuliani didn't feed the laptop no Russian information, right? Hunter Biden fed the damn laptop shop the information, right? It had nothing to do with Rudy Giuliani. They bypassed all the laptop shit. They bypassed the laptop shop, right? And repairman, right? They don't say nothing about that. They ask them about the laptop and they automatically go to Russian collusion. Do you believe the laptop is real? Bro, it's Russian collusion. No, nigga, there's not no Russian collusion. Is the laptop real? Is the information on the laptop real? Is you the big guy? Oh, well, this is a smear campaign for me and my son and try to get, rob me and keep me from winning the presidency. No, nigga, we didn't ask you all that. What do Russia got to do with a laptop? You can say the information on there is fake, right? Right, but you can't say that Hunter Biden didn't take that laptop into that shop with a Hunter Biden with the Beau Biden murals on the shit. That was Hunter Biden, had his signature and everything.
And we also know that Putin is trying very hard to spread disinformation about Joe Biden. And so when you put the combination of Russia, Giuliani, the president together, it's just what it is. It's a smear campaign.
Just 5 weeks after Elon Musk took over Twitter, this morning, the billionaire's vision for the platform is coming into focus.
So one of the things that he...
Right. And you know what fake news saying is coming into focus, right? This is what fake news saying coming to focus. Elon Musk is sending out the dog whistles for white supremacists, right? He's ringing the bell, right? He's blowing the whistle, the horn, the bullhorn, whatever the Democrats want to say, you know, they gonna compare it to this time. Whatever simile they want to compare it to. That's what Elon Musk is doing, right? They didn't want for him, right? I mean, from Donald Trump, the most racist motherfucker in the world, to Tucker Carlson, the most racist motherfucker in the world. Now is Elon Musk, the most racist motherfucker in the world. A white person from South Africa.
That he did by demonstrating that he was going to allow a lot of these accounts back onto Twitter, and he was going to be way more permissive in the types of things that you can say. Specifically, he's going to allow this type of hate speech and extremism to exist and proliferate.
As questions over free speech versus hate speech swirl.
It has a few effects. One, new people join. So, we monitor these groups on Telegram, for example, which had been sort of a safe haven for a bunch of the extremists that had previously been kicked off of some of the more mainstream accounts. And in recent weeks, they've all been, these prominent Telegram chats have been telling their members to go back to Twitter and sign up, rejoin.
Kanye. While the suspension of recording artist Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, from the platform has captured headlines, hundreds of Twitter accounts belonging to far-right activists and QAnon theorists have been reinstated, according to data reviewed by NBC News.
Now, look at this, right? Now, they're not talking about how these groups was targeted, right? They're not talking about any of that, how the Twitter feeds and the Twitter emails and the Twitter dumps, right, was proof that some of these groups got kicked off because of what Joe Biden or the White House told them, right? Or what the Twitter employees believe was right. on some left-wing liberal shit, right? So you can't say that these people was kicked off validly. So Elon Musk gave them another opportunity, whether you like it or not, freedom of speech.
Because it's a good opportunity to recruit and sort of evangelize.
And tweeting at Apple CEO Tim Cook asking what is going on here. Well, then later in the day, Musk teased that he will publish what he calls the Twitter files.
People who know how to play the game in the white supremacist spaces, who know how to get people radicalized subtly over time. Those are the people that are coming back.
Right? Now, all the racists are coming back to Twitter because of Elon Musk. You see how liberals set shit up? Elon Musk was saying that the government move, right, slowly. It's coming, but they're going to move slowly. They setting them up for, they're going to say Elon Musk is calling race wars. They're going to say Elon Musk is calling people to do shit in the streets, right? He getting the white supremacy together. He getting the hate speech together. He getting certain groups getting discriminated against, right? It's all finna come out, right? They all finna blame this on Elon Musk. All the world catastrophes, all the world calamities, right? They finna blame on Elon Musk, right? I'm talking about everything from the Wuhan, you know what I'm saying, to gay people, to the elections. Everything finna be blamed on Elon Musk.
Turned his focus to Apple, claiming the company was going to withhold Twitter from its Apple Store and asking if Apple hated free speech in America.
Half the site's advertisers, like tech giant Apple, have now fled, and governments are taking note. The EU has warned Twitter could be banned if it doesn't comply with content moderation laws.
You hear that? Now the EU talking about banning Twitter if it don't, right, comply with their content management laws, right? So you're gonna comply with what we say in a private, a private company. You're gonna comply with what we say, or we're gonna ban your ass, right? Not for stealing people information, not for selling people information, not for spying on people information, right? But if you don't apply to what we want to do, right? So if you would do it, then America do it, right? So we're gonna go. Y'all didn't say that when the other motherfucker had it, but every country now want me to comply to what they want me to comply to now, right? Instead of me running my business, y'all want me to comply to y'all rules and regulations.
So one, the types of people that are coming back are not just the true believers, but the hard extremists. So one guy really ran the Daily Stormer, which is literally a neo-Nazi publication and sort of forum, was kicked off years ago and came back the same day that Musk had suspended Ye's account.
Andrew Anglin, the founder of one of the most influential neo-Nazi websites, just one of hundreds of formerly banned users, now back on the platform after Musk's Thanksgiving tweet that amnesty begins next week.
So, there's this incredible moment where, he has these little things that he tries to commercialize, but the effect of it is that all of these extremists are coming back on.
Meanwhile, the billionaire cutting the company staff, including those dedicated to monitoring abuse and hate speech.
And why?
Right, because he already got the emails, right? Remember, Elon Musk read the emails before he leaked them. He read them long time before he leaked them. Right? He had information a long time, finding woke shirts inside the closets and stuff like that, right? He knew a long time. So that's why he fired them sons of bitches, because he knew what was going on, right? And Elon Musk also knew it was interference with certain things, right? I don't want to say it, right? Because YouTube is listening, right? But he knew it was interference, right? So he fired their ass, right? You bipartisan sons of bitches. You partisan sons of bitches. Right? You're supposed to be here conducting a business, right? And you're supposed to be here looking out for hate speech and the denial of free speech and all this other stuff. But they're one side able to do it, right? And one side able not to do it. One side is the platform, and one side is promoted. And that a bitch.
Why that matters is that it ultimately then allows for the recommendation engine on Twitter to help connect otherwise extreme individuals that were not previously connected, or people that haven't been radicalized yet, but can now get sort of connected to these new people that are coming back.
Musk is setting a tone of permissibility for the kind of behavior that had people shown the door in the first place.
Well, that's the thing here. Whether he's doing it, obviously, out of some desperation, if he's doing it for attention to try to get more eyes on Twitter.
So you have the immediate harm of more hate, more extremism, but you sort of have this long tail where Twitter now becomes an engine of radicalization that helps allow for these groups to bring in new people, spread new identity, new ideas, and that's how you then convert that kinetic energy into offline action, more harms, more violence, more actually on the ground extremism.
You heard that? They done went from hate speech online to now action in the streets, right? All this because of Elon Musk, right? He calling up the troops. He's sounding the alarms. He ringing the bells. Anything you want to say, he marching the band. Anything you want to say, you know what I'm saying? Hey, hold on, I'm coming right back on my live. I'm coming right back. We marching online, all of that shit, right? This is, so right? Elon Musk is, according to these so-called Democrats, he's the most corrupt, evil sons of bitches in the world. He's the head of the KKK now. And I told you, Tucker Carlson done passed the torch. He done took it from Donald Trump, you know what I'm saying, to pass to Elon Musk.
But the real issue, Donnie, is that Apple's not the only one. Major advertisers are no longer advertising on Twitter.
Musk pushing back, calling reports of rising hate speech utterly false, and tweeting hate speech impressions continue to decline despite significant user growth.
And that poses a huge problem beyond just Elon Musk for the company, the stability and the longevity of the company itself.
Which include racial slurs against black people have trebled. Slurs against gay people are up 60%, while there's been a 61% spike in anti-Semitic tweets referencing Jews or Judaism.
You hear that? Right? I mean, we don't know what these people call hate speech, right? Because it's defined differently according to liberals, right? And according to conservatives and according to the Constitution, right? It's defined differently, right? So what we consider, what they consider hate speech, somebody else may consider free speech, right? So it's a difference. Is it hate speech or is it free speech, right? So they online saying we found this many hate speech and this much hate speech done went up since then, right? You don't know. They could have got me on there talking about niggas, saying something about niggas and niggas this and nigga that, right? Could that be a form of hate speech, right? Could I mean, when people comment on Kanye West story, is that a form of hate speech? You know what I'm saying? If people talk about people who talk about other people, right? Is that a form of hate speech? Like, what do these people consider hate speech now? Right? If you respond to somebody, right, who says something negative, right, towards you, right, is that a form of two hate speeches? He said something to him, he said something back, so that's two hate speeches? Like, what do they consider hate speech? Right? A strong negative response to somebody? If you use a couple of explicit words, right? If you use a certain N or W or A, N, or whatever alphabet you want to say, right? If you use them words, right? Is that now a hate speech? Right? If somebody get on there and say, I don't like the way such and such is represented, or I don't like the way that these kids are being this, right, or that, right? Is that a form of hate speech? Because you say you don't like the way a certain group able to do this. Is that a form of hate speech? Or is it a form of freedom of speech? What do these people consider a rise in hate speech? Or as a rise in the freedom of speech? Fake news gonna always stick with the negative. That's why they're saying hate, but they're not saying nothing positive about the free.
This morning, Ye's Twitter account remains suspended after being banned Thursday night. Musk writing, I tried my best. Despite that, he again violated our rule against incitement to violence. Account will be suspended.
Now, Elon Musk, right? He stuck with his policies, right? He stuck with what he said he was going to do was right? Even though Kanye West got a big platform, he got a big ass mouth too. Elon Musk done what he said, he was stuck to his policy and banned his ass. So, and with Elon words and Elon promise kept, you know what I'm saying, to what he was going to do as far as free speech and hate speech and shit like that, he kept his word.
Elon Musk, when he took over Twitter, sent up the bat signal to every person who has felt unable to spread racism, misogyny, homophobia, but also disinformation actors, that Twitter's open for business.
Disinformation, whatever, right? We've been fed disinformation for 6 damn years, right? Why all of a sudden this information coming out right now when we've been getting fed disinformation for 6 damn years? And finally, when the proof of this information come out and people hide information, right? They ain't got nothing to say about it, right? But they still on Elon Musk spreading disinformation. How?
And haven't they responded?
Claiming the public deserves to know what Twitter has done in the past regarding free speech suppression.
President Trump brought up what he calls the unfairness of the fake media, most prominently, a lack of coverage of his unproven and unverified charges that former Vice President Joe Biden and his son Hunter have received millions of dollars in corrupt payments from a Russian oligarch and a Chinese billionaire.
Right? Remember, once upon a time, every fake news story on this was about Russian collusion, right? They couldn't say Hunter Biden's name without saying Russian collusion or Rudy Giuliani, right? They kept them names in their mouth, lying through the public, right, for years, right? Hiding the truth.
Speech suppression. And then finally, I'm sure there's going to be more though, he posted and penned a tweet saying that this is the battle for the future of civilization. If free speech is lost, even in America, tyranny is all that lies.
The intelligence community warned the Trump White House, and apparently, according to the Post and the Times, the National Security Advisor warned the president personally out loud that what Giuliani was bringing home about Biden was a Russian op.
Was it a Russian op on the computer? What? Oh, somebody sent me a cash app. Was it a Russian op, right? When Hunter Biden couldn't come up with the $85 to pay the damn computer man off, was it a Russian op then? Huh? Right? They keep on talking about this Russian op. When it was a Russian op? Who sent me a cash app? Somebody sent me a cash app, damn it. David Tillman. What's up, my boy David Tillman? DT. I know sometimes like the ching ching. DT like to send that cash app. We like to send that direct cash. Good looking out, DT, right? But hey, you see how, David, you see how this, right? Remember all the Russian collusion, right? Remember all the people who was talking about this is straight out of the Russian playbook? Everything blamed on Russia. Gas blamed on Russia. Hunter Biden blamed on Russia. Everything blamed on Russia. Food blamed on Russia. War blamed on Russia. The economy blamed on Russia. Everything on Russia.
This looks like Russian intelligence. This walks like Russian intelligence. This talks like Russian intelligence. This effort by Rudy Giuliani and the New York Post and Steve Bannon to cook up supposed dirt on Joe Biden looks like a classic Russian playbook disinformation campaign.
Ooh, you lied, Jeremy Bash. You lied. You knew it was a lie when you said it. There was zero evidence of that. And you and a bunch of other creeps in the intel community, having spent decades trying to subvert foreign elections, tried to subvert ours. And it looks like you did.
Totally discredited. And by the way,
well, wait, he didn't get $3.5 million, Joe?
That's
he didn't. Hunter Biden received $3.5 million wire transfer from Russian billionaires Senate report, right? Right? I mean, and this is a fact, right? The New York Post was telling the truth. All this information was released, right? And Joe Biden got on national TV, right, in a debate for president and lied to the American people. And the American people still accepting, not us, but some of bitches. Got up on here and lied about his son not receiving money. Donald Trump put him on blast. Oh, it's not true? In 2020, 2 years later, 2.5 years later, what's going on? Right? They still deny the story when all the evidence is out, right? The FBI came out, Tony Bobulinski came out, his more emails come out, right? His phone calls came out, his pictures came out, his videos came out, his indictments came out, all kind of shit done came out. But Joe Biden got on national TV and lied to the American people. What we have here is the elite practicing its powers.
Mr. Vice, he got $3.5 million.
Where do you begin And I mean, right. It's like you have to laugh because it's like, what else do you do? No CEO operates like this, but it's really scary. Is it not to see some of this stuff? I'm like,
you see how fake news acts so concerned of Elon Musk? Like, what? I don't understand. Like, what's going on? Like, we're gonna lose our free speech. We're gonna lose our democracy, right? There's gonna be so much hate speech on the internet now. We don't know what they call hate speech, right? Guns, hate symbols, Apple War, Elon Musk, chaotic 24/7.
the gun with what is going on?
It is not true.
Hello,
My
Jeff.
son did nothing wrong at Burisma.
I think he did.
and
Mr.
The only
President,
guy that
let
did
him
something-
answer.
He doesn't want to let me answer because he knows I have the truth.
Under investigation as potentially part of a hostile foreign influence operation illegally targeting our election.
His position has been totally, thoroughly discredited. And
The media.
Incriminating evidence allegedly found on a laptop belonging to Biden.
Some sort of Russian disinformation campaign.
He's going to create a situation, a toxic environment that's going to shun him and undermine his business model.
This is just classic textbook Soviet Russian tradecraft at work.
Right, exactly. And this is classic, very classic Russian disinformation tactic.
Right? All of it is Russian information, right? Remember, every time they hopped on the news, it was Russian disinformation, right? Even though Donald Trump was saying it's not even in the debate, we know we got the reports. It's right here, the Washington report, right? They reported. Twitter kicked their ass off. It was said that Joe Biden and the Biden team was like, here go this story, go this story, go this person, go this profile, kick their ass off. It was known that the Biden people had contacts with these people, right, on a regular basis, meetings and all that shit, right? It was known, right? A week before, and when Donald Trump was trying to expose it, they blocked him. They blocked Kate, whatever her name, Kate McMinney, whatever. I forgot her name. Caitlin, whatever her name is, right? They blocked all kind of people for Donald Trump, right? Right? They took away all kind of. You couldn't even share it, right? If you share it, they'll block it. And then you have people saying this is not right. They knew it wasn't right. It's still done it. Right? After they got on TV for 3 whole years talking about, hey, it's a Russian disinformation. 3 whole years, Russian information. Not one of these motherfuckers came out and said, hey, I was wrong. Not one. Right? I got a plethora of people on here. Not one of them came out and said, hey, I was wrong. It was not Russian disinformation. The laptop and the story was real. But the story is only real and it's only verified if a New York Post article come out on Donald Trump. Let a New York Post or a New York Times post come out on Donald Trump about any fucking thing. They're going to run an hour-long show on it, right? Donald Trump can jaywalk. He can take he can fart, right? He can sip a glass of water, right? And they come on the New York Times, right? And they're going to hold an hour-long show about whatever the fuck he do, right? But Biden family get away with 3 years, right, of lying. The news get away with 3 years of lying, and then when they get found out, they get caught in a lie, and the story was true. They don't give 1 minute to the story that is the truth. Not 1 minute. They didn't hold one segment, right? You look on CNN. I've been looking on CNN, MSNBC. This is the only thing I can find about the Hunter Biden and the Twitter leaks was Don Dick Sucking Lamont saying, hey, he's supposed to release some Twitter tweets, right? 7 seconds, right, between MSNBC, CNN, and all the other news, liberal news stations, right? You had 7 seconds of this whole Twitter document talked about. And it was only talked about because of the Elon Musk story about hate speech and free speech, right? That's the only reason it was talked about. Other than that, didn't one MSNBC host, one CNN show, right, talk about this damn Twitter dump. Talk about how they was lying. Talk about the employees, right, and how Joe Biden campaign was in contact. Whether they tried to debunk it or not, they could have tried to debunk it. They didn't even have the guts to do that. They didn't even have the guts to say it was a lie.
Your classic disinformation campaign.
This is classic Trump.
We shouldn't look at it as anything other than a Russian disinformation operation. Known criminal.
A lot going on. Let's start with Apple, because that's what's really important here. The Apple App Store has a kind of quality control. So you can't just get any app on your phone. Apple vets the apps, one, to make sure there's not viruses in it that could be spying on us, but also to make sure that they don't have apps on their app store that promote hate speech.
Right? So now you have Apple trying to say what hate speech is and what they want to moderate, and you have the UK talking about what they want to moderate, and you have the United States government talking about what they want to moderate. You have all these entities, right, talking about what they want to moderate, right? What we think of free speech, right? How am I supposed to listen to Europe, America, and Apple? I'm pretty sure all you three sons of bitches got the same different ideas, right? And if you got the same ideas, that's even worse. Right? Why the hell I gonna listen to all three of you about my personal business? Ain't I supposed to be doing right what's best for my business and my business model, right? Long as it ain't affecting ain't nothing happening where is somebody getting directly affected through hate speech, right? Or some kind of organization is getting built up because of the hate speech or something like that, that's gonna go out and try to move in some kind of directive, right? But not, they won't. Apple say we're gonna take our shit off of our ass off of Twitter, and then next we're gonna take you off of our store, right? Because we're gonna do it like that. They want to do the, they want to tell the nigga who invented their rockets that go to space, right? Underground parking garages, right? Cars that run by themselves, right? The shit to put a chip in niggas' heads, right? Robots, right? I mean, they want to tell the nigga, hey, if you don't go, we say we're going to Space Link, right? Got internet hookups, right? If you don't do what we say, we're going to kick you off our platform. Like he ain't got enough money to get his own. Huh? Like he ain't got enough money to get his own or enough knowledge to create one. Or do something, you know what I'm saying, creative, you know what I'm saying, that will motherfucker don't need Google no more. You better stop fucking with Elon Musk before Google don't be in existence no more. You're gonna do some other shit and create some other shit that you're gonna be like, damn, we got a competitor. The only thing why Google is a monopoly because it's a competitor, right? And in the free speech, right? The only thing you can do free speech, right? And you can reserve service on basically anybody if you're not a monopoly, right? And just because there's other websites you can go to, you know what I'm saying? Google can use that law to its fact. We're not a monopoly. There's other places that people can go to besides Google or Apple Store. You know what I'm saying? So we're not a monopoly, right? We're not a monopoly. People can go to other apps, right? We just a platform. We just one of many. So that's the only reason. But they the main one, right? We know all the other ones ain't shit. Let's be real.
Disinformation.
Russians would be my number one guess.
Obviously, Russia. Russian disinformation operation.
Russian disinformation.
Pushing Russian disinformation.
It does bear the hallmarks of Russian disinformation.
So I don't think he's really realized that.
Though Musk and far-right conspiracy theorists. Musk tweeted, "You know Twitter is being fair when extremists on far right and far left are simultaneously upset."
Rudy Giuliani is peddling very well could be connected to some sort of Russian government disinformation campaign.
Hell yeah. Pencil neck gonna say hell yeah. Right? It wasn't a fake news, a lie that say all this shit on Hunter Biden was fake news. I don't see Adam Schiff. I don't see this nigga Wolfster. I don't see none of these motherfuckers apologizing.
Well, we know that this whole smear on Joe Biden comes from the Kremlin.
Or, dangerous misinformation.
Are you ready for some tough questions?
You're going to be fair.
I'm going to be fair.
Just be fair.
But last time I remember you saying to me, bring it on, bring it on.
No, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for fairness. That's all.
You're going to get fairness.
We saw Parler, which was a...
Donald Trump said, "I'm looking for fairness. That's all. Just treat me fair." Is that hard to do? To treat me fair? He had to get that footage of him because that wouldn't have been seen or heard questioning him. And he said, "Hey, just treat me fair. Just treat me fair." Right? You can't treat me fair. Don't treat me at all. She didn't treat him fair.
Right-wing social media network getting kicked off the App Store for a while last year until they cleaned up their hate speech rules.
Hunter Biden's story is Russian disinfo.
Hunter Biden's laptop looks like it's tied to Vladimir Putin in Moscow.
Are you missing a laptop?
Not that I know of.
I think Twitter.
Now, I had a debate with somebody, hopefully he listening, right? He said that Hunter Biden denied his computer in an interview when he said, not that I know of. I said, what else can you do that at, right? Can you do that, right, if you are being questioned by the police and they ask you about, did you kill somebody? You can't say, not that I know of, right? If your wife, right, catch a condom in your bed and asks, did you cheat on her? And you can't say, not that I know of, right? You can't use that any other scenario, but Hunter Biden can say it about a laptop, and you can believe him. Not any other scenario is that believable. Like, you can't go to court in any court of law say, hey, did you steal that stuff? Not that I know of, right? Did you clean your ass? Not that I know of. Right? I mean, what other aspect are you a good father? Not that I know of. Where else do not that I know of give somebody an implication like, oh, he's telling the truth? I can believe him. And what other scenario? Give me the other scenario besides Hunter Biden laptop where you can say, not that I know of, and it's acceptable. By the news media and everything this nigga I've been talking to. Was this food good? Was this pussy good? Not that I know of. Oh, don't tell me this pussy good. Ain't this some good pussy? Not that I know of. What do you mean I ain't got no good pussy? Not that I know of. You can't say that in anything else. Huh? Anything else. Is your wife pretty? Not that I know of. Say anything else. You can't say the shit else, not that I know of. Time? What time at? I need to text time. What's up, Miss Coco? Right? But you can't say that nothing else, but Hunter Biden can get away with it live on the interview, say not that I know of, and people believe him. A person that was on crack, that said he was on crack during that time, right? That said that he was indulged at that time. Now, there was another argument I had with said person, right? That why is Hunter Biden been able to get a gun, right, illegal, or why should it bother me, right? It bothers me because he's not supposed to get a gun, right? So, right, if it's supposed to be red flag laws and stuff that Democrats is fighting for and the liberals fighting for and shit like that, and that can keep guns out of sicko hands and stuff like that, right? Because they drug addicts, they've been in psych wars or whatever the case may be, family. Well, it's red flags, right? Where when on the application, when they say, have you been on drugs or in the rehab or this or that in the last such and such years or whatever time period they say, and you lie on the application, that's a lie, right? Now either everybody gonna get that treatment and get a slap on the wrist, or nobody get that treatment and get a slap on the wrist. So I should be able to lie on an application too, right? And somebody just give me a slap on the wrist. Because if the law applies to everybody fairly, he should be able to receive the same punishment for the same crime that I do. That's why it affects me, because he can get away with shit and other people get away with shit that me and you can't get away with. So it shouldn't just bother me. It should also bother you. Because if it's not just that, it's other shit too. Because they're going to throw that in your face and say, oh, that's small. And you go to jail for the same thing. What else are they going to throw in our face and say, oh, that's small, that your ass can go to jail for a couple of years? That he can't, that evidently he has the privilege of not being incarcerated or the same laws apply to him. Shouldn't that bother you as an American? If it don't, I mean, I'm sorry, but it should.
Elon Musk is concerned because he is taking down all the guardrails when it comes to the rules on the platform, that Apple might turn around and say, hey, we don't want you on our App Store anymore.
Take a look at this picture of the president in the Oval Office holding up a copy of the New York Post, touting this conspiracy theory. It's made its way all the way to the commander-in-chief with a big smile on his face.
And if that happened and Twitter was essentially unavailable as an app within iPhones, that could be devastating for Twitter.
You see this? Instead of talking about the truth and the fairness that Elon Musk is in the open debate and the fairness that Elon Musk is giving out of Twitter, right? They talking about how how businesses is getting off of Twitter, how Apple gonna take them off the store, right? How other countries talking about you need to change the policies, how Apple saying they need to change its policies, right? How the EU saying that they need to change the policy, how the American government, the Fed saying they need to change the policy, all the LGBT community coming out the woodwork saying they need to change their policies, all these so-called civil rights organizations, right? Everybody coming out now, right? Everybody coming out on Elon Musk now, but they wasn't coming out on the Hunter Biden case. They're not saying anything about the lies that we've been receiving for 2 years. The lies, you know what I'm saying, that Twitter has been hiding from us, right, for 2 years. They're not saying anything about that. Even though the computer is verified, the information is verified, right? The hard drive is verified, right? If you want to call it a hard drive instead of a laptop, even though that is verified, right? Even though CBS just now verified after 2 years, right? Even though it's witnesses coming out and stuff like that, they still don't cover the shit. They still don't cover it, right? There's so much information that's out on Hunter Biden, right? And so many witnesses and stuff like that, right? They still FBI agents, Twitter employees, right? You name it, right? Tony Bobulinski, ex-business partner. Tony Bobulinski ain't the only one, right? Ex-business partners, ex-baby mamas, right? Ex-wives, ex-hookers, you know what I'm saying? His baby mama. There's so many people that they can talk to about Hunter Biden character, right? That they refuse to talk to it with any station, with any news article, with any social media content, with anything, right? They keep Hunter Biden safe. Like I say, you can't touch Hunter Biden because his ass like a hot stove.
Yes. Former senior intelligence official tells me that President Trump was warned Giuliani's information was likely Russian disinformation by National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien, CIA Director Gina Haspel, Director of National Intelligence Joe Maguire, White House counsel Pat Cipollone, Attorney General Bill Barr, all told the president not to trust Giuliani.
Right? It would be a Bill Barr. Bill Barr would be running with the Democrats and the liberals talking about don't trust Giuliani, don't trust his information. Well, if Bill Barr would have done his damn job, he would have knew the laptop was real, he would have knew the information was real. Think about this. Bill Barr was the Attorney General. The Attorney General under Donald Trump, right? How do the Attorney General not know that laptop is real? How do the Attorney General not know it's not Russian collusion, right? How does the Attorney General don't know all this old shit, right? Either he was stupid, or he didn't care to investigate, or he was scared, right? Because if he was stupid, right, and investigated and find the right shit, right, I mean, he just plain stupid. He wasn't qualified for the job, right? But if he ignored it, right, because he said, oh, it wasn't nothing there, right, that means he didn't do his job, right? If he was scared because the Democrats talk about impeaching him, right, that means he was scared to do his job, right? But one or the other, he didn't do his job, because if he would have done his job, he would have knew this was Russian collusion, everything on the laptop was real, right? And all them people that came out and said, all them 50 intelligence agents that came out and said this was Russian collusion, you would have knew it was a motherfucking lie. But you didn't say nothing after the election. Now you say, oh yeah, that was fucked up what Joe Biden said. I was on TV and I was looking at him say it and I knew it was a lie. Why you didn't go in there and call him out on it? Why you didn't go in there and say, well, I know this is a lie? You let Joe Biden, Bill Barr admitted that he let Joe Biden go on national TV and lie to American people, and he didn't say nothing about it. Think about it. He said, I wish I should have put. I just thought about it. I should have put that up in there. If I would have thought about it, he got on national TV and said Joe Biden interfered. I mean, Joe Biden got on national TV and said he knew nothing about his son, and I was shocked and I was floored that I knew that was a lie, right? He knew it was a lie, but Bill Barr didn't say nothing to the American people after that. He gonna say after the election. What good is it now, Bill Barr? What good is it now? You should have done your job. You should have done your job.
This whole operation looks right out of the Kremlin playbook.
The playbook of Russian disinformation.
Russian disinformation put into the haystack.
Russian disinfo.
Sounds like bullshit. I mean, who takes a laptop with their most personal information, drops it off, and never comes back for it?
One other.
Hunter Biden does it. That's who does it. You ain't got to ask too many questions. Hunter Biden does that. Hunter Biden is the type of person that does that. You ain't got to look too far. Hunter Biden is the crackhead that leaves laptops inside of damn fucking $45 repair shops and don't come back and get it and all this information on it. A crackhead does that. That's who. He forgets about it.
Other important point when it comes to Apple, we learned yesterday that Apple has basically stopped advertising on Twitter.
Russian plan.
Russian disinformation.
Nobody believes it except his and his good friend Rudy Giuliani.
The Russian disinformation campaign.
Putin is trying very hard to spread disinformation about Joe Biden.
So could have been yours.
Of course, certainly.
Did you hear that? To the person listening, right? When I said the woman asking the question, that was the person I was talking about. When she asked him, could it have been your computer? He said, yeah, certainly. Huh? So he said, yeah, it could have been, right? and what was the other one? Not really. I mean, but he said 2 of them could have been mine. And I don't really know some shit like that. The first one, whatever I'll say the first. But them is 2 like unsure. Them are 2. You can't walk in court and somebody presents some evidence and you can't make neither one of them statements. And the juror, right? Your lawyer, right? The judge or anybody in the court be like, you know what? That was the right answer. That was the right answer for an innocent man. I'm not sure, and it could have been mine. I'm not sure, and it could have been mine. Them are the 2 best answers you can give when somebody say, all this laptop shit and all this stuff on this computer was yours. You took it into all this. Is it your laptop? It could be. I'm not sure. What? Then he said, I was on a lot of drugs back then. Okay, that fucks up your defense even more. You have everything against you, but you want everybody to believe you. You don't even believe in yourself. It could have been. If you unsure, you want us to be like, it could have been. You know what? It could have been his. But you wanted us to assume off the bat, it could not be his, right? You want us to make that connection. But you like, it could have been mine. Because you want to set yourself up so when it do come out, like, oh yeah, it was mine. That's why I never denied it. You never heard Hunter Biden once say, hell no, that's not my computer. It could have been. Oh, it was a Russian hack. Oh, it was Giuliani. Oh, it was Donald Trump. It was never me. It was never mine. Okay, is it yours? It could have been. I don't know. I was on a lot of drugs back then.
Interview Joe Biden like you interview me. It would be so good. You know what?
You like this, I thought. I thought you liked spies.
I don't mind it.
And the Washington Post reported that Apple in in the first quarter of this year, was actually Twitter's biggest advertiser, spending $48 million in the first quarter alone.
History will expose you all as fools and useful idiots for the Russians.
50 former intelligence officials signed on to a letter yesterday saying that the New York Post story about Hunter Biden's emails has all of the classic earmarks of a Russian disinformation campaign.
Don't trust anything that he's telling you. This is Russian disinformation.
50 of them. 50 intelligence agents. Not one, not two, not a couple. 50 of them. All said is Russian collusion, right? And look, and all their Twitter's still up. I bet you all their Twitter accounts are still up. Somebody who agreed, right? It probably was in the meetings with the Twitter companies and stuff like that. All their Twitters are still up, right? And they ain't spreading, right? I thought Twitter was against misinformation and spreading misinformation, especially blatantly disinformation. That was blatant. Twitter didn't do no investigation to fact check these. I bet you didn't. Never one of these motherfuckers get fact check. You know the fact check thing come on when they say, okay, fact check this and fact check that on your shit. I bet you didn't. Never one of the people who said Hunter Biden had a laptop was a Russian collusion. I bet never fact check label came on them. But everything you put Donald Trump on, oh, fact checker. Put something up about January 6th. Oh, fact checker. Everything is a fact checker, but they didn't fact check Joe Biden not once.
U.S. intelligence agencies believed that Rudy Giuliani was being worked over by Russian intelligence assets as a conduit to feed misinformation to the president of the United States.
So you can also see another reason why Musk is taking issue with Apple.
When you look at this computer store owner in Delaware who allegedly received Hunter Biden's laptop, that is more in line with when you think about somebody who's a useful idiot. That's kind of the entry point that is kind of, a classic indicator of the potential presence of disinformation.
A platform that is, like it or not, essential to democratic debate is run by a man who cannot distinguish the public interest from his interest.
Right? The public interest from his interest, right? And his interest is freedom of speech. And shouldn't that be the public interest? You think the public interest and freedom of speech, you think everybody on here that's watching the channel don't want freedom of speech, no matter if they say it or if they hear it, right? No matter if it's liberal or if it's conservative, you don't think everybody on here want to hear freedom of speech, right? When different organizations of Black Lives Matter was getting people together for the Summer of Love and stuff like that, didn't nobody say we need to stop these groups from gathering and stuff like that? We need to stop these groups from spreading misinformation, right? We need to stop these groups from going out and seeing what they hear online and acting that shit out there in the streets and burning businesses down and filming that shit on Facebook and Instagram Live and all that shit. They didn't get taken down. They didn't get investigated. You didn't ask them, who was you recording, right? You didn't ask them for their videos like they did on January 6th. Let me get all your phone videos. Let me get all your Facebook posts. You didn't go through none of them people who was putting all them all them fucking Summer of Love posts up, George Floyd posts up, right? Threatening and all kind of stuff, talking about what they was gonna do. None of that went up. None of that hate speech was so-called monitored, right? People was able to put up stuff about white people every day. How they racist, they this, the police killed, all the police. People were able to put up stuff about the police, right? People were able to put up stuff about MAGA, white white conservative men, right? Even the women, right? People was able to put up some of the most hateful stuff against conservatives, but put up something about something that's LGBTQ, right? And they don't agree with it. Put something up about transgender kids that they don't agree with, right? Put something up about gay men in sports that they don't agree with. Put something up about the Wuhan that they don't agree with, right? Put something up against climate change that they don't agree with, right? They taking all your shit down, but you put up something that doesn't go against their ideologies, they're taking it down. They're taking it out. They're gonna leave theirs up, but they're gonna take your shit down. Well, Elon Musk say, look, I'm gonna take everybody down equally, and I'm gonna leave everybody else up equally, right? I'm not gonna show favoritism towards nobody. And the left hates that because it doesn't benefit them. And if it doesn't benefit you, right, and this has been one of the straws in your hat, of course you're gonna be mad because this has been one of the biggest straws in your hat. Of course you're gonna be mad.
This is going to be awesome. So eventually we did get the thread. It was a long Twitter thread from journalist Matt Taibbi. And Taibbi claims that Twitter staff had an open line of communication to both the Trump White House and to the Biden campaign.
Right-wing media has been focused on Hunter Biden, this laptop that intelligence officials have warned is likely Russian disinformation.
And he says that both camps pretty often reached out to Twitter to either block stories or tweets they felt were unfair, inaccurate, or straight up misinformation.
But, right, that's kind of smart of both campaigns, right? I'm pretty sure Donald Trump, right, put out some requests about misinformation, right? Because the Hunter Biden story was information. Him saying the media and Twitter and all that saying he was lying was fake information. So hell yeah, I'm saying, look, y'all put out fake information. I got information that this shit is real. So the stuff y'all putting out about me is fake information. You need to change that. Hell yeah, Donald Trump was talking about these media companies putting out fake information, putting out fake information about Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, and all kind of shit all the time because they put out the real information about Joe Biden, about his racist past, about his views, about his about the 3 strikes things, about all kind of stuff that Joe Biden has done right over there in China and over there in Russia, right? His background as a vice president, all his failures with past so-called outbreaks and stuff like that. If they would have put all that stuff, Joe Biden wouldn't be president. He wouldn't, but they hid it from all that. And if you put it out, they're gonna flag your ass.
And law enforcement is actively investigating whether the alleged Hunter Biden emails are linked to any foreign intel ops.
Twitter does have a content moderation team that evaluates those requests, but Taibbi makes the claim that that system was unbalanced in favor of left-leaning requests.
The story is preposterous. So we're supposed to believe that Hunter Biden, in a drunken stupor, dropped off his laptop in, I guess, apparently QAnon repair office.
Yeah, we're supposed to believe that, right? Because Hunter Biden never denied it, not once. I would give somebody $1 million if Hunter Biden say the laptop. If you can find a piece of footage that say got Hunter Biden say the laptop is not mine, right? Any video. I mean, I will give you $100 if you can find any. He done plenty of videos. I'm pretty sure he got a Twitter page. I'm pretty sure he got a Facebook, right? I'm pretty sure he got all of that. Interviews, you name it. You can look him up, Google it, right? Whatever. Give me one statement that Hunter Biden made that he said, not I guess it could be, and none of that shit, right? That said is not mine. Just one, right? Everybody else denies it, but he said, I don't know. It could be.
Because Taibbi argues Twitter staff leans left.
Super spreader events and giving Russian disinformation, spreading Russian disinformation.
You know, this is 60 Minutes, and we can't put on things we can't verify.
You won't put it on because it's bad for Biden.
We can't put on things we can't verify.
Les, of course he is.
Come on.
Of course he is.
You
See
know, we
that?
had the Senate
So
committee
you're like
Republicans.
big tech. You're protecting him.
Now, on the Hunter Biden story specifically, Taibbi's thread shows there was a pretty lively debate behind the scenes over how to handle it. And he posts some emails showing this stuff. For lack.
It showed the truth, right? It was a Democrat. Why do you think the Democrats didn't want Elon Musk to get control of Twitter in the first place? They knew he was going to spread the truth. That's why they're trying to do all kind of stuff to block the deals and put all kind of lawsuits into the thing, right? But the shareholders like, hell no. He's talking about overpricing it. Hell yeah, we need our stocks because we ain't gonna never make no money like this. Give us the money. We want the money. The stockholders told Twitter to sell it, or else they wouldn't have sold it. Elon Musk gave them a deal that they couldn't refuse. They couldn't refuse the deal. So Elon Musk hurry up and bought that shit, right? Now they mad. The same people who sold the Twitter now mad at Twitter. Sons of bitches.
Lack of trying.
Rudy basically functioning as a Russian asset by pushing Russian disinformation.
Largely, and maybe surprisingly, there was not a lot of input from Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey at the time.
CNN reported on Friday that U.S. authorities are seeing if those emails we just talked about are connected to an ongoing Russian disinformation effort.
They say whatever they're told to say.
Huh? They told whatever they're told to say, right? And every so-called dictatorship or authoritative government, right? Any time in history, they always had control of the media source and what the people was allowed to listen to or debate or even what the people consider the truth. What they doing in Russia, right now, what the United States accusing Russia of doing? Not telling the truth to their people about the war. What America is accusing China of doing right now, right? Not telling the people the truth about the Wuhan and all that other stuff, right? They said other countries is lying to their people about misinformation, right? China with the Wuhan, Russia with the war, right? The only country that's not lying to their country, to their people in this scenario is the United States, right? But if other countries get the same stories that we get, right? They don't say, hey, The United States is lying to their people. You don't think they got that propaganda over there? Because it's plenty of proof that Joe Biden lied to us, and I'm pretty sure it's some kind of YouTuber, investigator, something like that, news channel that put 2 and 2 together, got the footage, the video, and everything. If they ain't got it, guess what? The Russian government told them to put that shit on. Because over there in Russia and China, guess who the evil ones are? We are. We the evil ones. Over here, they are. But over there, we are.
Twitter officials' decision to ultimately suppress that story was based on its hacked material policy.
There's one reference to it in the book.
Yeah.
Is that laptop yours?
You don't need the laptop. You got a book.
Once again, ain't that strike 3? Ain't that strike 3? When somebody asks him, is that book yours? Well, you don't need a laptop. You got a book. Okay. That's not the question I asked you. So if it's yours, right, you tell us don't look in it. Look in my book. Right there, it wasn't me when I in them videos and all on that, you know what I'm saying, stealing money and messing with prostitutes and weighing dope and guns and in the shower naked with crystal meth pipes and shit like that, you know, biting hookers across state lines. None of that was me. Everything I wrote in the book was.
You get the book, it's all in the book. And I don't know. I truly... You don't know. The serious answer is that I truly do not know the answer.
Right? That's strike number 4. You only get 3 strikes. He said, I don't know. The answer to that question is, I truly don't know. To the person listening, he said, the answer to the question about the laptop being mine is, I truly don't know. Well, what do you know? Right? Would you, if you was defending somebody, right, and he was to get on stage, and would you advise your client to say, I really don't know? It could be, I really don't know. Would you advise your client to say some shit like that? You know what, Your Honor? He plead the 5th. He gonna plead the 5th. You know what I'm saying? He gonna fuck up the church's money. He plead the 5th. We don't need to go long. His ass not going on stage. Yeah, but I want to get on stage and I want to tell my story. Nigga, not today.
Despite no real hard evidence at that time that anything from the laptop story was gained from foreign hacks.
Has Twitter failed in setting themselves up in the past as the judge of what can go out there? And I would say, yes, you have. You failed when you threw the New York Post off of Twitter for talking about Hunter Biden's emails. And it turned out that was a real story. Right. You failed.
Again, according to the emails that Taibbi released. Now, when some Twitter officials asked questions about that decision, Taibbi cites an anonymous former employee on background.
You don't know.
No, look, I really don't know.
I really don't know. This nigga going into the last inning. Oh, good looking out, Blazer 101. We need more people to donate, like Blazer 101 and DT. You know what I'm saying? And Samantha Robert. We need more people to donate. We get more people to donate. We do more videos, bro. Like I say, I'm trying to drop another video today, right? But we got to be able to get them donations so I can get the freedom to work and do the videos for you. Huh? Drop them donations, huh? Good looking out, Blazer 101. I really don't know. I really don't know if the laptop from hell is mine or not. When is he going to say, no, it's not?
And the fact of the matter is, it's a red herring. It is absolutely red herring.
Who says, quote, hacking was the excuse, but within a few hours, pretty much everyone realized that wasn't going to hold, but no one had the guts to reverse it.
Right? We knew hacking was going on, right? We knew it wasn't no hacking going on, right? We knew that it was wrong to block these accounts and block the information and set up all these red flags about this information. We knew it was wrong, right? And everybody realized it, but nobody wanted to say anything about it because when no one had the nuts or the pussy to do so, right? Nobody was a real nigga or a woman.
You told me a long time.
China and from Ukraine and from Russia.
All these
I think
things
that's
have
an
been
important issue.
investigated and
It's incredible the way you can try and say this and sit there and look me in the eye and say it.
In other words, you lying bitch. How you gonna look me in the eye and lie to me? You lying bitch. I can't believe you looking me dead in the eye, like, you know, like we here. You looking me dead in the eye and gonna tell me that this is Russian collusion? That don't tell me this shit don't exist? Tell me it ain't verified? Well, just like this reporter right here, ain't that something you supposed to do? You didn't never unverify it. You didn't ever say it's verified because of this, that. We have records of this, that. We done our investigation, sir. Right? Now, never one of these sons of bitches done an investigation, right? Or even question anything, but they want to know, but they want to tell you they know the whole truth about everything.
Why don't you want to report this? This is one of the most powerful families in Washington.
Liz, I'm a journalist.
Okay, I would love if you guys would start doing that verification.
No, we're not going to do your work for you.
It's a journalist's job.
Experts say the emails cannot be authenticated. Not really stories, just pure distractions. No serious journalist should fall for it.
It's a journalist's job to find out if this is verified.
Not no more, right? You see how she look? It's not no more. It's not a journalist's job no more to find out if an article or a story is verified, right? Because they would have found out 2 years ago. Or a general attorney would have found out 2 years ago. Oh, somebody sent me a Cash App. Somebody got that. Oh, who sent me a Cash? Oh, somebody sent me a PayPal too. I gotta check the PayPal, right? But you see how they don't want to do their job? Who was that? Roger Bowling. You're looking out for the donation, Roger Bowling. You're going to be on the video later on tonight. Y'all videos going on the video later on tonight. Who sent me a Cash App? Somebody sent me a Cash App too, right? But your video going on later on tonight, right? But you see how the media don't want to do their job, and when they found out that they didn't do their job, they don't want to do the job. They don't want to do the story, you know what I'm saying, that they didn't do their job on. Huh? They didn't do both stories. They done a fake story, and now they're scared to do the real story. What kind of shit is that? Huh? What kind of shit is that? You don't do you do the fake story for 3 whole years. You only do the real story for 7 whole seconds. And I'm talking about the whole bunch of you. Not this one, the whole bunch of you, sons of bitches. The Andy Dillon, you're looking out Andy Dillon. Andy Dillon with the donation. Good luck looking out with the Cash App, Mr. Andy Dillon, long-time supporter. AD always be up there. Andy Dillon, I'm making some AD shirts today, but Anthony Davis shirts, not Andy Dillon shirts. Good looking out, right? Let's get back into it, AD.
And there was a lot of behind-the-scenes pushback, including one from House Democrat Congressman Ro Khanna.
Situation where we have foreign countries trying to interfere in the outcome of our election. His own national security advisor told him that what is happening with his buddy, his buddy Rudy Giuliani.
The Democrat representing parts of Silicon Valley said in an email to Twitter staff, quote, in the heat of a presidential campaign, restricting dissemination of news articles, even in New York Post, is far right.
He's a criminal, and he's been a criminal for a long time.
Right? Even the Democrats knew it was fucked up. The Democrats like, man, we shouldn't be doing this. This is not what we do, right? Do was being honest. Talking about that's far right. That's something they do. That's not even something we do. We don't control the media. We don't control no social media companies, no social media platform. We don't do that, no shit like that. We had Parler. Soon as y'all find out Parler was too much freedom of speech, y'all cut that shit off. So that's not something that right-wing people would do. That's something y'all claim we would do if we would have the power. But even though that was still 100 of you to even speak out about that. You know what I'm saying? So we got to give him a little props for being fairness, right? For a little fairness.
And you're a criminal and the media for not reporting it.
Seems like it'll invite more backlash than it'll do good. And in fact, the internal emails that Taibbi posted did show that.
Answer this question.
What is
was
the
it
question?
Was it appropriate to bury the Hunter Biden?
You're talking about the press doing that?
He's saying that's what they did, and that is what they did. They buried the Hunter Biden story before the election because they were like, we can't risk having the election thrown to Trump. We'll tell them after the election.
And we know for a fact that that's what they did?
Of course. You don't
but
follow
I'm
this.
saying you know for a fact that that's what they did. I don't know what they did.
I know, because you only watch MSNBC.
No, that's not true.
Bottom line, mainstream media is not reporting on this story because we can't authenticate this material.
Biden.
Right? That's why you hear that? That's because you don't watch Fox News, right? You know what I'm saying? You only watch certain channels, right? And that's why this dude right here came back and say, look, mainstream media is not reporting on this because we don't believe it's true. Oh, that's why you're not reporting on it, right? Okay, well, we just found out from the New York Times, you know what I'm saying, and the New York Post, and every other news article, right, was the New York Post men's talked about it, right? But every other article, news article said it was real, right? Why are you not reporting on that? It's verified now. It's been verified after 2 years. The same story you said, hey, it's not being verified. It's verified. Why are you not reporting on the contents of what was verified? Huh? Why are you not reporting on the content? Y'all reporting it when you said it was fake? Y'all brought all these people on here, all these experts, all these analysts, right? All these witnesses on here to say it was fake. But nobody on here gonna say any of the content on Hunter Biden's laptop was real. Where they do that at?
And emails finally authenticated according to the New York Times.
There was quite a bit of pushback, not just from Republicans, but also from quite a few Democrats who just had issues with how Twitter was handling the story. In the end, they ultimately decided that they were going to suppress the story, and they actually took away New York Post's Twitter account for about 16 days.
Right? So, suppressing freedom of speech right before election, right? So meaning the New York Post couldn't put up anything about Hunter Biden 16 days before the election. Ain't that a bitch? Huh? Probably before the election, probably less days than that, but took it away so they couldn't put up the story, right? Said it was misinformation. Who says misinformation? Twitter, right? The FBI, these so-called experts.
Information meant to harm our democracy. Altered or fake, unverified emails.
The story did not quite land due to the lack of verification.
Take a look at what's going on, Leslie, and then you say how that shouldn't be discussed.
I'm saying
It's the biggest scandal out there, Leslie, and you don't cover it.
Ultimately, the CEO at the time, Jack Dorsey, said that that was a mistake. Now, we should just clarify here at News Nation, we have not independently verified any of the emails that Matt Taibbi put.
Tension.
Right? But Facebook did. But Facebook verified the emails and the posts that they couldn't put. Right? So you don't need to verify. It's already been verified. Common sense verifies this shit. You don't hear the Twitter employees saying Elon Musk a lie. You don't hear nobody coming out talking about the Twitter files. The Twitter files is made up. It's not telling the truth. It's misleading, right? You don't hear none of the Twitter employees coming out or executives coming out saying anything about it. Oh, it was wrong. Oh, my bad. I should have done more. I should have overlooked it more, right? All of them saying they made a mistake. None of them taking accountability, and none of them saying Elon Musk shit is not true. None of them said Elon Musk shit is not true. None of them. None of the people. Right? So it has to be some kind of truth in it. It has to be. Because you can't find no lies in it.
Because we can't authenticate this material.
Biden emails finally authenticated according to the New York Times.
There was quite a bit of pushback, not just from Republicans, but also from...
Right? You can't... It's verified now, and they're not talking about it. That's why it's important to have freedom of speech, right? Because it's people that's been on social media platforms, right? Like me and other platforms that want to talk about this, that could talk about this, that could shed some light on stuff like this, right? But we'll be the platform if our ideas or our language or our conversation ain't appealing to the left-wing media, right? We'll get the platform. Lose our money, lose our content, lose our page, lose all that if we go against anything they say, right? It don't even have to be true. It don't even have to be proven, right? It don't have to be right, right? It's just the way how they want it, right? So if we don't believe that you are abiding by our rules and what we say and what we think, we're going to platform you. Try to go against them on something from COVID that's other than what they believe is true, right? Or from what they doctors said is the real. Try to go against them and see what happened to your platform. Try to speak out against it. Try to speak out about the LGBT community, right? And telling the truth about them. Not lying on them. Not saying anything disparaging about them, right? Not trying to defame none of them character, but sit up there and tell the truth about them. Watch what you get. Get up there and tell the truth about transgender kids and stuff like that, right? Watch how you be the platform, right? So they say we want freedom of speech, but we would have platformed you for that, and we don't want no debate. We don't want no town hall or none of that shit. It's our way or the highway.
We have not independently verified any of the emails that Matt Taibbi put.
Attention on Twitter during the election because of the Hunter Biden laptop story. The New York Post.
Have that too.
Yeah, so you guys censored that as well?
So we took a different path than Twitter. I mean, basically, the background here is the FBI, I think, basically came to us, some folks on our team, and was like, hey, just so you know, like, you should be on high alert. There was we thought that there was a lot of Russian propaganda in the 2016 election.
Right. And rocket scientists don't have to put two and two together, right? They saying Facebook, the owner of Facebook saying the FBI came to us and some people, right? Now the owner of Twitter said, I done an investigation and I found out the same exact thing that Mark Zuckerberg talking about, right? So you got Facebook saying it happened. You got Twitter saying it happened, but you have nobody denying it didn't happen. Think about it. You have people avoiding the story. You got people don't want to admit that they was wrong, but you don't have nobody saying, "Hey, Mark Zuckerberg was telling the truth about the FBI and trying to suppress stories, and so is Elon Musk." Right, because nobody is holding up the opposition saying, hey, this person's lying. The only thing they're saying is, hey, Elon Musk is preaching hate speech. That's the only thing. So if you respond to how you offended about how you've been lied to, that's hate speech. All these sons of bitches lied and whoop this and whatever you want to say and all this other stuff, right? If you respond, that's hate speech. You can't respond to people who've been lied to, right? Who've been lied to. You can't respond to them people. Leave them alone. So what, they lied to you? So what, they made you stay in the house and do all that other stuff, right? So what, they took your job? So what, they fucked up your kids mentally? Don't say nothing about them, but that's hate speech.
We have it on notice that basically there's about to be some kind of dump.
So what about the Americans who really today only want me to ask you about Hunter Biden's laptop?
The New York Times has authenticated emails that appear to have come from a laptop abandoned by Hunter Biden in Delaware. The president previously said that the New York Post story about this was a bunch of garbage.
Right, remember he said, oh, that's a bunch of garbage. He was saying that all through the campaign. Oh, it's a bunch of garbage, right? Now think about this. If Joe Biden didn't know that his son was under this type of pressure, under this type of investigation, under this type of scrutiny, right? Under this type of spotlight that he can fuck over the whole family, Joe Biden should have spoke out and said something about this a long time ago. But sitting around here and saying he don't know about it, and he don't talk to his son about it, everybody knew he was lying. Right? Just like we knew Juicy Smollett was lying. We see bullshit when we hear it. We see it.
And that it was a Russian plant. Does he stand by that assessment?
How are you going to get them to see that you are fighting for them when they're so dead set against you?
There's nothing to any of that. Nothing to any of that. It's all a smear. Every major outfit, every serious investigator has pointed out that this is a smear. This is classic Trump. We have 4 days left, and all of a sudden there's a laptop. And you may recall, there's also talk about 4 months before there was a similar thing that somebody had, allegedly. There's overwhelming evidence that from the intelligence community that the Russians are engaged.
So just for old time's sake, let's look back at how the compliant media treated this story when it first came out.
Because it can't be verified.
You want to talk about insignificant things.
I'm telling you.
Of course it can be verified. Excuse me, they found the laptop. Leslie,
Can
Leslie,
be verified.
what can't be verified?
The laptop.
Why you said that?
First, CNN, how the newest anti-Biden narrative was manufactured.
Mr. Secretary, who's Nina Jankowicz? She is.
How it's manufactured, right? It wasn't the truth. It was manufactured. All this shit was manufactured. Everything about this whole story about Russian collusion was manufactured. Guess what wasn't manufactured? The laptop. That wasn't manufactured. It was supposed to be repaired, but it wasn't manufactured.
Is the executive director of the Disinformation Governance. And is this the same individual who said the dossier was real and the Hunter Biden laptop story was false? Is that the individual who's now running the Disinformation Governance Board? I'm not familiar with those statements. Been reported widely.
Why haven't you seen any stories from NPR about the New York Post Hunter Biden story? Well, we don't want to waste our time on stories that are not really stories.
It's how you hide a little lie, little lie. It's how you hide a little lie, little lie.
Here's MSNBC. Why does Rudy Giuliani have access to peddle this disinformation repeatedly? This is not censorship. Facebook is under no obligation to allow a disputed report that appears to contain disinformation.
When the department picked her, did it know that she had said that Mr. Hunter Biden's laptop is Russian disinformation?
And Joy Reid tweets, good for Joe Biden. No need to dignify a Russian hatchet job. We're not doing emails again, America. Look at all these jackasses.
It's how you hide a little lie when Rudy Giuliani shared that intel from Ukraine.
Senator, let me repeat myself and add one other fact I was not aware.
David Frum, Max Boot, David Korn, Ben Rhodes, Tommy Vietor. Remember Evan McMullen? He doesn't. The list of dolts goes on and on.
Foreign interference in our elections. Of course, the irony is the laptop showed that foreign companies and governments had been paying the Biden family in exchange for changing U.S. policy toward those countries.
Huh? You hear that? You hear that? It's a pay scheme. Biden family is crooked. But when Donald Trump was talking about it, he was the platforms.
Selling out our nation for cash. How does this feel to have the New York Times admit that you were right all along?
It's kind of delicious to see them sort of squirming around trying to admit the obvious. But, you know, if you're a reader of the New York Post or a viewer of Fox News, you knew this 16 months ago. You didn't need the great New York Times to tell you that it was true and that they'd authenticated the emails. We already did that.
And if you've been watching me, we already did that too. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna get up out of here because, like I say, I'm done with this video. You know what I'm saying? And I'm finna go ahead and try to make the next video. So if you want to send a donation, you know what I'm saying, to keep up with these videos and keep me motivated, give me the freedom and stuff like that to do these videos, go ahead and send a donation. Don't be shy. Every little bit helps, right? But I'm up out of here. I'll see y'all on the next video because like I said, this one is now over. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed. Good looking at the donations. I'll be back.